Breaking news: the Las Vegas Raiders may have found something special in 2 rookie wide receivers, and we've got the inside story you don't want to miss. Before we dive into the latest from Raiders camp, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and smash the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. In a recent interview, star offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson opened up about the rookies who are making a strong impression, and 2 names stood out right away: Dont'e Thornton Jr. and Jack Bech. When asked which young players have caught his eye, JPJ didn't hesitate. His first answer? Dont'e Thornton Jr. "I've known Dont'e for a long time," he said, "and he's already acting like a pro. He's getting reps with the starters and handling it like it's nothing." JPJ praised Thornton for his discipline and effort. He's not making mental mistakes. His roots are clean. His work ethic? Exactly what you want from a future star. Then came praise for Jack Bech, who's quickly earning the respect of veterans. JPJ shared a story that speaks volumes. He had all the rookies over for a team bonding night, BBQ, pool, the usual. But around 7:30 p.m., Jack Bech stood up and said, "Hey bro, I've got to go. I need to study my playbook." That moment set the tone. Suddenly, the other rookies realized it's time to lock in. And that's what's exciting for Raider Nation. These rookies aren't just here to fill spots. They're here to work like pros. What makes Dont'e Thornton Jr. stand out isn't just his speed or size. It's his calm under pressure. He's already lining up with the Raiders' top unit, and according to Jackson Powers Johnson, he's not blinking. He's showing real confidence, and more importantly, real readiness. Yes, his technique still needs polishing. That's expected. Every rookie goes through that when they step up from college to the pros. But the way Thornton understands his role, stays sharp on assignments, and executes without mental errors. It's turning heads inside the facility. And here's the part that's turning speculation into excitement. He might be one of the biggest steals of the draft. Think about it. The Raiders haven't always hit home runs with their mid to late round picks. Yes, they struck gold with Max Crosby, but those kinds of hits have been rare. Now, Thornton, picked later in the draft, is making a strong case to join that short list of breakout stars. There's been some talk out there that Thornton can't run a full route tree. But if you go back and watch his Oregon tape, he was running a variety of routes, even if he was still raw. He was younger then, and growth is part of the process. What matters now is what he's showing in Raiders camp. And it's impressive. Jackson Powers Johnson isn't handing out praise lightly. He sees what this guy's doing now. And it's clear Thornton has come a long way. He's flashing early. He's competing. And if that keeps up through training camp, he could rise fast on the depth chart. And let's not forget Jack Bech. While Thornton is stealing the spotlight, Beck is quietly building momentum. Maybe the hype isn't as loud yet, but the consistency? It's there. And in the NFL, that matters. While Dont'e Thornton Jr. has been getting a lot of attention, let's not overlook Jack Bech. Just because he's not making the same headlines doesn't mean he's not making progress. Beck is expected to slide into a role similar to Jacoby Myers, the dependable slot receiver who moves the chains and does the dirty work underneath. That kind of job doesn't always grab the spotlight, but it's critical to an offense's rhythm. And based on early reports, Beck is embracing it fully. He may not be stretching the field like Thornton, but what stands out is his work ethic. The story, shared by Jackson Powers Johnson, about Beck leaving a team hangout early to study his playbook, says everything. That's the kind of dedication that earns a rookie real respect in an NFL locker room. Zooming out a bit, it's clear the Raiders are moving in a better direction. Under previous regimes, especially during the Mike Mayock-John Gruden era, the draft process was messy. Too many first-round picks didn't pan out. Names like Alex Leatherwood and Damon Arnette still haunt Raider Nation. Talent was missed, and opportunities were wasted. Even more recently, under Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, the Raiders passed on top-tier prospects like Jalen Carter and Darnell Wright, both already showing signs of becoming elite at their positions. Instead, the team chose Tyree Wilson, who still has a long way to go to prove himself. But now, with Tom Telesco at the helm, things feel different. The rookies coming in, like Thornton and Beck, aren't just talented, they're hungry, they're focused, and for the first time in years, it feels like the Raiders are building a foundation the right way. The Raiders' rebuild is finally starting to look real. And the turning point? It began the moment Tom Telesco stepped in as general manager. Let's break it down. In just a short time, Telesco has brought in serious talent, the kind that could reshape the future of the franchise. The 2024 draft already looks like a major win. First-round pick Jackson Powers Johnson is projected to be a dominant force in the trenches. Tough, smart, and already commanding respect. He's exactly what the Raiders needed on the offensive line. Then there's Brock Bowers, a game-changing tight end with the kind of skill set you can build an offense around. And don't sleep on DJ Glaze. Taken in the 3rd round, he's now expected to start at right tackle. And by all early reports, he's earning that spot. But the real magic might have come in the moves made by assistant GM John Spytek. He helped land Ashton Jeanty, a dynamic, explosive running back who's already being talked about as a potential top 5 player at his position for years to come. Add to that Dont'e Thornton, drafted in the 4th round, and Jack Bech, picked after multiple smart trade downs in the 2nd. And it's clear the Raiders have started drafting not just for need, but for value. They didn't stop there. Offensive linemen like Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant were also added. Young, flexible players who could become long-term starters. Grant might slide to guard, but either way, the depth and upside are there. Darian Porter, another name on the rise, adds to this fresh group of hungry talent. What's impressive isn't just the names, it's the philosophy. This front office isn't swinging wildly anymore. They're drafting with purpose. They're building a roster that looks competitive now, and dangerous later. If Jack Bech ends up posting 800 yards a season, and Thornton hits 600 regularly, that's massive return on investment for guys taken outside the top 50. They don't need to be superstars. They just need to contribute. And so far, all signs say they will. For the first time in a long time, the Raiders aren't chasing talent. They're stacking it. While there's been plenty of excitement around the Raiders' young talent, not all the news coming out lately is positive. And Raider Nation should pay attention to this. One of the more frustrating updates involves a player that many fans hoped would land in Las Vegas, cornerback Jair Alexander. Instead of making his way to the Raiders, Alexander has officially signed with the Baltimore Ravens. It's a tough pill to swallow, because even if Alexander isn't the top 5 lockdown corner he once was, he's still one of the best available at the position. And for a Raiders secondary that's still searching for consistency, he could have made a huge difference. Even as a top 15 corner, Alexander would likely have been the Raiders' best cornerback the moment he stepped on the field. His instincts, experience, and playmaking ability would have brought a spark to a defense that needs more proven leadership on the back end. The deal? Reportedly just $4 million guaranteed, a price the Raiders could have matched without much difficulty. So, what happened? Most likely, Alexander wanted to chase a contender, and the Ravens' elite defense was a better fit for a veteran trying to win now. But this leaves the Raiders with a choice: stand still or make a move. There are still options out there. Stephon Gilmore is one of them. He may be a step slower than his prime, but in a zone-heavy system like the Raiders' Cover 3, Gilmore's size, awareness, and experience still fit perfectly. He's not a long-term answer, but he could be a strong short-term solution, especially as the younger corners continue to develop. And if Las Vegas is serious about competing this year, they can't afford to ignore the cornerback position. Other veteran free agents remain available too, but the clock is ticking. Training camp is coming fast, and with every passing day the best options are being scooped up by other teams. Whether it's Gilmore or someone else, the message is clear. The Raiders can't afford to stay passive on defense. The Raiders' front office isn't slowing down, and they're making it clear. no spot on the roster is safe. In a recent statement, the team hinted strongly that more moves are coming. The message? If you're not performing at a high level, you will be replaced. That's the mindset now. Constant competition, constant improvement. This shift in tone is exactly what Raider Nation has been waiting for. For too long, the team held on to underperforming players, hoping they'd develop. Now, under the new leadership, things have changed. The front office is ready to upgrade every position if it means putting a better product on the field. And this brings us to a name from the past, Damon Arnette. Once a first-round pick for the Raiders, taken 19th overall in 2020, Arnette was supposed to be a cornerstone for the secondary. Instead, he became one of the biggest draft disappointments in recent memory. He struggled on the field, faced major issues off it, and was released just 2 seasons into his rookie contract. Now, Arnette is getting another shot, this time with the Houston Texans. And while that move doesn't directly affect Las Vegas, it does serve as a reminder of the team's past missteps, especially in the draft. Arnette had the physical tools but lacked the discipline and focus needed to thrive in the NFL. It wasn't just about scheme or coaching, it was about mindset. And, unfortunately, the Raiders paid the price. There's hope he can turn things around, and if he does, good for him. But from a Raiders perspective, it's another painful example of what happens when talent is drafted without the right structure or culture in place. The difference now? Players like Jackson Powers-Johnson, Dont'e Thornton, and Ashton Jeanty are entering a team environment that's far more demanding and far more supportive. One that expects excellence and doesn't wait around for it to show up. The mistakes of the past are clear, but the Raiders are finally building a future that doesn't repeat them.